All right. I think we're live, Dan.
We're live. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I think I put some stuff in the description to talk about. Now, it's been a little while since we did a live show, so the audience will have to tell us if the audio is being weird at all, but hopefully it's not. Wow, it's been a big year for stuff going on with Privateer Press. Even aside from the breaking news about the Press Ganger stuff, we heard about the new faction announcement. Yay!
True.
And I know a lot of people have been waiting eagerly for Hordes to have a new faction, which, out of curiosity, did you have any suspicions as to what you thought the new faction would be?
I was both excited and scared that it was gonna be like Gremlins.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't be able to resist buying them.
Oh, okay.
Scared as I'm like, there goes my money. But then excited because yeah, that would be awesome. But then there was like not really any Gremlins in it. But they're weird. And they're interesting though. So I'm just excited that they're releasing all the rules to the public to play test before releasing them. It's an interesting take. I don't think any other company has really done that.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I suppose I know I'd heard complaints anyway about there always being issues with stuff leaking whenever there was private playtesting, so I guess this is a way of addressing it. We'll see. Hold on, where's that noise? Anyway, whatever. Thank you, Steve Strangelove. My helmet is pretty awesome, isn't it? I painted my room and made it pretty for the internet. It was kind of horrible before. It's like, I really need to clean that. Oh yeah, color's nice. I thought it was going to be the zoo?
The what?
The zoo, I think is what they are.
They're
like the another tribal faction from the Iron Kingdoms. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I know there was a lot of people speculating about that one, which it seemed like it'd be pretty cool. So here we are. We have Grymkin. Grymkin.
It's true. Well, Privateer Press has said they're going to release little factions like this in the future that are not really going to be fleshed out a whole lot, but they're just kind of like this fluffy little interesting thing to play.
Seems kind of weird to me. I don't know that I know of another game that really does that. Like, you have your main factions, right? And then there's all these like subgroups. To me, it seems weird because I like faction loyalty a lot, and so I'm like, oh no, I have a vast variety of options with Kador, and I can have armor cracking and speed and the old witch. And I was really scared that they were going to take my old witch away.
Well, all the
one
will always be there. You can't take her away.
Well, I don't know. They could have been evil. They could have treated it like Signar and like just taken. They're like, hey, Sturgis, you're on our side now.
But I still like Sturgis 1. Not that the meta has kind of pushed back towards infantry a little bit more.
Yeah.
So much spam jacks. I mean, there still are, but not always. And so Sturgis is really good against infantry. So
this is true.
But they destroyed Constance. She's useless. Although wait, how much undead stuff is there in Grymkin?
Good question. I only just kind of been able to peek at some of the PDFs that are out, which I don't know as far as the audience goes. Everybody can apply, right? Like anybody can apply to be part of the playtesting forums, right?
Yeah, so Privateer Press has this thing going on. They're, what is it called? It's CID. What does that stand for?
Community Integrated Development.
There you go. And to apply for those forums, and then you have to be manually, like, somebody has to manually click, okay, you're accepted into these forums. Accepting like anybody right now. I mean, I got in really easily.
So basically just get in right now.
I've never posted on the Privateer Press forums at all. And then they allow you in. I mean, this is for the purpose of not just information, but purpose of playtesting. So you get the information, you proxy some models with some friends, you have all of it, and you go playtest it, and then you don't go, oh, that was cool. You then go, this is what I like, this is what I didn't like, here's some constructive criticism to
they do
help.
a survey. I think it's as I understand, it's a survey thing after you do games. You fill in kind of blanks so they can parse the information a little easier, which makes sense.
And then they want to like your like posted like battle reports, and there's like forums for that and all that. I haven't had a whole lot of time to look at it just in the last couple of days, but it looks pretty cool. Next time I go out, I'm going to. I'm probably gonna. I made a list in the last like 20 minutes, just really looking through some stuff, just to like, hey, here's an impression. This is kind of like maybe a list that could exist, which could work. Maybe it wouldn't. Who knows? But
well, your last minute thrown together lists tend to be the scariest, so
they always
probably did all right. You're like, I don't know, Frightmare. Let's throw that in there.
I've like done so well in so many tournaments. I never really won a tournament doing it, but just like you go, you're like, I think I want to do this, and then you play it. I'm like, I've never played this list before, and then I like win like 3 games with it. Or like when you go to like your hobby shop and you're like, let's play a game, and you're like, what faction are you playing? Okay, I'm gonna play what's in my bag. Okay, let's see if this works. And then I went like half my battle reports are those kind of games,
which is pretty fun. I don't know how well. I don't think I could really do battle reports with the playtesting rules though, just because like, well, this might be different next month. So.
Yeah, probably not with playtesting rules, and it doesn't do justice with the models.
No.
Visualize them.
Which, before we get to the next step, there's already like several comments, so I might as well just go through those really quick, and then we can kind of address the next step. Okay, let's see here. So we were talking about, as far as the community integrated development, I think Steve Strangelove in here said Mantic did it. Are you talking about the community integrated development as well? So I don't know too much on that one. Let's see here. No one, Christian says, no one is a playtester now. Everyone is a playtester. No one is a PG. Everyone's a PG. And when no one's special, everyone's special, no one is.
I like life.
I don't know. I just heard about the press ganger thing today, and I know there's a lot of probably some hard feelings about it. I don't know the direction that's going, because I don't know how that works for people who've already built up points and things like that. I was never a PG, so I'm kind of unaffected, I guess.
For the PGs, like I knew some PGs that were just really good for the community, and they were awesome. And I knew other PGs that just held PG for the sake of being a PG. They're like, I am a PG status. I'm cooler, and I'm awesome. And it's like, meh. Like, why are you a PG? And then like you have the PG Invitational. It's like, oh, well, I get to do that. And I have the PG coin and this and that. And it was kind of like this ha 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 moment. And that was kind of like weird. But
do you think most people were like that? I mean,
I don't know. I think it was like back and forth depending on where you were. But I think on a lot of different ways, it was like some people, like the PGs in my area, some of them weren't even doing tournaments at all. So 2 guys were like, screw this, we want tournaments hosted at our local area, so we're going to host our own tournaments. Mm-hmm. And we did. The PGs weren't doing it. So, you know, that, I mean, it's happened in other things, but I just, whatever. I don't think they were that massive of a thing.
12 Neef wants to know if we'll be at Adepticon this year. I'm so sad. I won't. Missed LVO, missing Adepticon. Just don't ever leave my house anymore.
So you for sure won't be?
I won't be.
I bought a ticket a while ago for the event, but then I looked at, I wasn't sure because I went to Europe for like 3 weeks this like a month ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how that would impact like work and everything, how busy we're going to be. But everything went pretty smooth with me being gone. And then I looked at like flights, and they were super expensive. So anyways, I'm going to look at some super last minute flights. So maybe. So if I find a sweet deal in like a day or 2 before I need to leave, then and then I'll figure out a way to stay somewhere.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna like bum with somebody. So if anybody here is going to Adepticon, apparently he's looking for a room.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't need. It's like I don't want to.
Okay, he's looking for a flight. Whatever.
I'll just like bring an air mattress and blow it up and stay in someone's room.
If you go say hi to all my con friends, I'll actually be really sad to miss Adepticon. I think it's my favorite convention anymore.
Oh, Adepticon's great.
It's amazing.
Good.
Raphael? I am probably butchering your name, so I'm sorry. Fallen, like the Fallen in 40K. So I guess you're saying the Grymkin are like the Fallen in 40K. The Fallen. Do you know who the Fallen are in 40k, Dan?
Fallen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait.
Oh, Fallen Angels. They don't look anything like that. No.
I don't.
You're just wrong. You might be talking about something else too. I don't know.
I'm really not big in the fluff at all in any game system. I'm bad at that. I just, whatever.
I have read more of the 40k books than of the other ones. Of the.
I've never read any books. Like
You just don't read?
Gaming, except for rule books. I love rule books. I don't know why. I love reading rules. Like, we're like, oh, it's a new board game. And I'm just like, let me just delve into these rules for like 20 minutes. And then...
Well, have you gotten the new faction command books then? Because that's pretty much what you get now.
The
forces of Legion or Circle or Khador.
Well, no, because it's just fluff, right?
No, they've changed it. They've sifted the fluff mostly out of it. They'll give you like a little bit of background of the faction, but mostly it's going to be the way the army interacts with each other or within itself, and then your armies.
I thought it was just like theme forces.
No, that's actually a separate book they're going to release of just theme forces.
I have no idea. I will look into it. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe sounds interesting.
Yes. Michael likes the Grymkin because they're vested. Let me see. Like their vested interest in a single village is not entire kingdoms. I mean, I suppose. Like I don't know how you fight necessarily big wars, one little guy, but maybe. And I mean, it's probably fine for a lot of people. Maybe even like not having a hugely expanded army is actually nice for a lot of people who don't want to deal with a whole lot of choices to pick from, just because it can be confusing. So I mean, sure.
Now, I'm not sure if this is confirmed everything that's going to be released. There might be more. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to release it with all the standard release stuff, right? Like it's like Convergence, where they're saying, "Oh no, this is what you're getting," and when we feel like putting something else out, you'll get that. I think.
They haven't been really clear. But the real reason I like Grymkin is because it's like anti-Menoth. And as a Signar player, I hate the Protectorate of Menoth so much.
That's probably not.
And then Grymkin's like, oh, look, you're this horrible god who just like causes pain and suffering, and this is what results of it as this like coming out. And screw you. Yes, I can get behind that any day.
So, do you know any bit about the little? I mean, I'm sure you heard the Primecast or the video about its introduction, Grymkin's introduction into the world of Iron Kingdoms, into Western Immorin. Did you hear about them being called from? I think Urkane is where they were pulled out from, because they were these tortured souls that no deity wanted to put under their protection, and then the old witch like pulled them out. Now she's pulling the strings. She's running things.
Good old witch.
So now let's talk actually about the interesting character in here, which is the old witch. She's now a battle engine.
Yeah, Khador got a battle engine caster.
Got a battle engine, the most armor she's ever seen so far, 20 hitboxes. And actually, let me pull up her thing, because I'm just going to forget all of the rules that I read like right before the show. I'm like, oh, yeah. Zavanna Aga. So she gets so far 2 cards. She has a focus card and a fury card, depending on if you're running her as Grymkin, or more importantly, if you're running her as Khador, because she's a proper Khador battle engine.
How do you feel that Old Witch 2 is Khador, but Old Witch 3 is Grymkin?
No, you cannot have my old witch. No.
Just say, that's the way it is.
I will quit.
I guess this is only playtesting, but I'm pretty sure it's going to stay. Old Witch 3,
They should just make her go back to Khador, and she inevitably gets bored with the Grymkin. It seems to make the most sense, if you think about it.
Well, the Grymkin might just be utterly destroyed, and then she just... Khador might take her back.
Ow. And no, my helmet's not a Skyrim helmet. Horns are in the totally wrong spot, guys.
It's my WoG helmet.
That's right.
It is a sweet helmet. It is a very sweet helmet.
Yes, it is pretty slick. So yes, as somebody commented who said that, Scrapjack does not skip leg day. Thank you, Taudark. Appreciate that. So yeah, Battle Engine caster. She's riding on big Scrapjack. I'm sure you guys saw the video. She's definitely a very cool looking model. I am very excited to see the Old Witch get a new iteration. I'm kind of sad that it's not two models again, because I really liked Scrapjack. He was just sort of, he's all heart and, metal.
He's pretty good, too.
Yeah, he was. And he was one of the few Kator Wargjacks we had for a long time with Reach, which is kind of hilarious. So right now, again, all of these rules are subject to change, and you can join the Privateer Press forums. Now, where do you actually go to join the playtest forums, by the way?
I think it was a link. I'll get the link to you by like the end. We'll maybe put that in the description.
Excellent. Let's see, Michael, you're getting a Rax feel from the Old Witch's battle mount. So, she harvests souls too, right? Which I think you pointed out. No, she harvests corpses, doesn't she?
I don't know. It's all about corpses. There's not really soul synergy at all. It's all corpses. I don't think she gains.
Yeah, actually, I don't think she does.
No, okay. the battle engine does, but she, as a battle engine, does not.
That's not confusing.
But the Grymkin battle engine, which is not the caster Old Witch, does collect.
Man, they're talking about putting some really big models on the table anymore. I would like to see a tournament where you can only bring battle engine warcasters or something on a huge base. Like everybody's just huge.
Minimum 3 huge base.
I think it'd be slick.
I have often brought Stormwall with 2 Storm Striders. It's not the most effective thing in the world, but it's awesome and it's really fun to bring.
Yeah.
What else? With minions, you used to be able to bring 3 of the.
I remember what it's called too. Oh my gosh.
Can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
My brain, long day at work, but we're getting through it.
Boy. So again, give your first impressions then of the Grymkin, because you've actually made a list from it, and you're pointing out the corpse synergy, and so you should talk a little more about that.
Yeah. So Grymkin, they have a few things. They have some pretty strong recursion techniques, which are neat, but they're hard to utilize because whenever you bring back guys, they can't activate at all. And then a lot of the recursion nowadays is they can move, but they can't attack. So like you can bring something back and then charge with the unit, and then the other person kind of just follows up behind to do something next turn.
Mm-hmm.
You normally don't want to charge with everybody and get everyone committed so they can all get killed anyways. So it's just whatever. You bring someone back, he's there. But since they can't activate at all, it's a bit more tricky to do it because you have to be closer up when you're regenerating, and then those models that are in charge of recursion can be eliminated. So there's that. So that's interesting. A lot of their models they're kind of like victim stats unless you kind of like focus on them. So, but then like a lot of people want corpses as well. Like there are 2 heavy war beasts. The one reminds me of the Bone Swarm in that the Bone Swarm for minions is a very mediocre, kind of bad light war beast. It has a cool animus that you can use, but it's just very meh. But as soon as you get 3 corpse tokens on it, it becomes a very good light war beast. But the problem is that how are you getting these corpse tokens on it? You have to like charge in and hopefully kill and get the corpse tokens, and then you get smashed. Like it's just meh. But a tier list in Mark II allowed you to start with 3 corpse tokens on it with Midas, and then it was like, okay, great, I'll bring them. It's fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not so good. And the Skin and Moans, or where is he?
Skin and Moans, Grymkin Heavy War Beast.
Yeah, Skin and Moans. Yeah, so he's kind of the same thing. He's defense 13, armor 16 for a heavy war beast that costs 15 points. And it's like, that kind of really sucks. But whenever it has and his power plus strength is only 16. So it's like for 15 points, that's like not very good at all. But as soon as he has 3 corpse tokens on him, then he goes up +1 strength and +1 arm for every corpse token on him. So then he goes up to armor 19, which is respectable, and he goes to powerful strength 19 on both his weapons. So all of a sudden you're like, this is a great war beast, but how do you get corpse tokens on him? Because he has to get in there first. But you don't want him in there killing little dudes. You want him heavy war beast killing heavy war beasts.
Right. Back to that lovely peace trade, as we always used to dealing with.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this weird. Is he good? Is he not? I don't know. It's weird. But the battle engine that you can bring, if anything dies that's even friendly around you, you gain corpse tokens, and it can shift corpse tokens, kind of like the Crick shifting souls around.
Yeah.
So he can shift corpse tokens, say, onto Skin and Moans, and then it has corpse tokens, and then it's a respectable war beast.
Right.
For 15 points.
Well, and then that. Well, wait a minute. Is that what we're looking at? I'm paying attention. I keep losing my PDF. Sorry. Super awesome, apparently. Oh, yeah, the Cage Rager was another cool one. Now, the Skin and Moans is just a heavy war beast. What's the actual battle engine they have again?
The battle engine is called Death Knell.
So the Death Knell, as I understand it, can just assign corpse tokens, can it?
Right, but it doesn't get corpse tokens for free.
Oh, I see. And you can't transfer them around that way.
But it's Command 8, the battle engine, and so anything within 8 inches of it that dies, it's living or undead model, you gain corpse tokens. So if it's friendly model, you can't gain corpses from guys killing each other. You can't like shoot yourself in the back.
Yeah, no, they were very specific about that, which I appreciate, because it was always annoying watching that with the Legion pot thing that they would make.
But you do have to wait for your opponent to kill you, but your guys are so easy to kill, a lot of them, that it's fine.
It feels like it was designed to sort of bait you in a way, which I guess kind of leads us to the other, one of the major factors of Grymkin as well, being the fact that there's no feats, which is weird. So this will be the only faction, and I mean, again, they did it with Convergence, and they had the synergy and the, what was it called, Arcane Induction, where you could transfer focus, and that was just like a mechanic of the game. This one, it's a little bit more of a fundamental change where they're saying, oh no, you don't get a standard feat. Now you have these, I guess, mini feats, and you get like 3 right now, I think, per game.
You get like a main one and then 2 minor ones, and you get to choose between. You have a choice, and you have to reveal all of them and let your opponent know which ones you have.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of reactionary. It's like, if you kill a model within like 10 inches of your opponent, then you can activate it. It's like they all fall down, and then any model that you kill, if your opponent kills your models, they're knocked down afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, okay, kill me all you want, but then all of you are knocked down.
And we all know how dangerous that is in the game, especially now that you lose Tough, which is a very anti-Tough army, with the Entropic Force on the battle engine, I think.
Yeah, well, the battle engine, it's a huge base, and it's only within 5 inches. So it's kind of like a situational, when you really need to get rid of Tough on something, like a caster or something, you kind of like run it up.
Fair enough. Now, are you seeing things that can repair much in here? I'm kind of not.
That's true. I don't know if they have any repair. I don't recall. I mean, the old witch is repairable.
Well, that's helpful for my faction.
But I think that's the only repair.
Fair enough.
So
yeah, it seems kind of odd. So I mean, overall, it's kind of feeling a little glass candy with the addition of it being harder and harder to kill as the game goes on, instead of the death spiral you normally deal with when you start losing models and losing on attrition.
They are hordes, though, so hordes really doesn't have repair too much.
That's true. It's more of a heal.
Mm-hmm. Did my camera freeze?
Yes. You disappeared just for a moment.
All right.
Taudark mentions the Grymkin infantry appear heavy in design. So does this make them cricks for hordes? thoughts? Now your camera's totally busted. Come on, man.
No, I don't know what happens with that camera. I'm
I
gonna try to
didn't
play it.
You're just gonna have to do it being pink.
Well, yeah. Well, they wouldn't. Yeah, they're not gonna have repair because of
the healing factor, and I get that.
Yeah, they're hordes.
Yeah.
There we go. Fixed it.
Fine. Let me just look up healing then on here. Now did you count how many models there actually are? Because it seemed like there was a lot in the test rules.
So the Twilight Sisters.
Twilight Sisters heal. Agrona heals.
Yeah. Yeah, they're Agrona and Hydron. Yeah, they're the Twilight Sisters. I'm really excited for the Twilight Sisters. So they're 7 points for 2 models, which is like super cool. Like they're nice and cheap, like really cheap. And they're defense 14, armor 11 though, so they'll just get like, blast damage will kill them. But they have Death Rattle, which is like a range 8, power 12 magic attack, so it's a little like kind of little nuke, which is great. And if you box a model, you can take control of it, walk with it, make an attack, and then it's removed from play. So it's just like that's just a solid magic ability 7, great. But then they have a range 5. They have a range 5 recursion, so they just go, I'm going to target a friendly faction trooper model within 5 inches, and I'm just going to replace a model of their unit that was destroyed. So someone has to be dead. You can't just add people to the unit. So if someone has been destroyed, and obviously not removed from play, you can just return a grunt completely within 3 inches of the model. So you're just kind of like, and you're back in play, which is normally like a 3-cost spell. And there's 2 of them, and they both have it. And they're just like, boop, boop, boop. Every turn, there's just 2 guys back.
Oh, geez. So we're talking, as Tadar given mentions here, as far as Crix for hordes, we're talking Crix level recursion, eh?
Yeah, potentially. And then the Old Witch has a spell, or is it an ability? You return D3, then they kind of like the same way.
Yeah.
So that's great.
The Old Witch's spells, yeah, she's got one called Reconstruct. Again, I'm reading the Cato one because it's the important one. Where large based or smaller warjacks in the spellcaster's battle group, when one of those models is disabled by an enemy attack at any time except while it's advancing, place it anywhere completely within 3 inches of its current location and remove 1 damage point from each system. So that as a spell if you could think ahead enough, keep your guys up, especially if you are bringing repairs.
It's such a powerful spell. I think the only person who's had that before is Syntherion for Convergence.
Does he? Okay, yeah, I guess he does. But I thought that... Is that a spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, on a Colossal, that's a lot of boxes it comes back with. And so having to kill it twice, it's just like... Ugh.
Well, it's large base or smaller, so you're going to be...
Oh, they fixed it.
Yes, you're not doing that to a Colossal. I mean, that's subject to change, but I really doubt they're going to put that one back in. Like, no, victors all day long.
So you have your heavy war beast or heavy warjack, and they kill it, and if it's the only thing that can kill it, like, and then you move it 3 inches. So it's like, I don't know, Behemoth, and he's there, and you're like, I killed him. And you're like, actually, he moves 3 inches and is completely functional again, and is going to wreck face next turn. And you're like,
you know that trick Imperatus has? I've got that.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's but it gets to move as well. That's because Imperatus, you kill it, he comes back functional, but he's still right there.
Yeah.
And so if you have another attack, you can like kill it.
Right.
But with this, it gets you get to move it, which is like really powerful because if it's like the last attack, last like even 2 attacks, and you just move back a little bit, and then just how do you get to it? And it's like. It's a heavy warjack, and it's going to have like at least 6 boxes. Wait, how many? Like left arm, right arm, movement, cortex, and then if you have any other abilities. So like between 5 and 6 maybe, depending on the warjack.
Well, and again, I mean, Cater has good mechanics, so you can definitely take advantage of that, probably more than a lot of factions.
Right, you're moving back into range of the healing mechanics. All mechanics run up, D3, 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 and then it's like...
No success checks, just D3.
Right. So that's really cool. Yeah, we were talking about.
We were talking about the old witch, which I keep wanting to talk about, but I guess other people are also talking about like the pumpkin heads, and I guess there's some other models in this army or something.
Yeah, so the Hollow Men. The Hollow Men are super cool because I mean they're like meh. They're like bad trenchers when you just look at them base. So they're like defense 12, armor 12, complete victim stats. Like you can just slaughter them so easily. Like they're terrible. But I mean they have range 10, Mat 5, combined range attack, POW 11. So they have military rifles, the same as trenchers have. They have one less rat, they're only Mat 5. But trenchers used to be Mat 5. But they have combined range attack, and so mostly it's going to be like you bring 10 of them and you get 5 attacks that are rat 7, POW 13, which is nothing to scoff at. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But really shine is when you bring the unit attachment. It's only 4 points. He's the Lantern Man. And the Lantern Man doesn't have a gun. And he has 2 options. He either has like a magic bullet, kind of like not a magic bullet. He just has like a little magical shot where he like he can hit something. I don't think he does any damage, and it just brings him like you can move him 3 inches, so you can kind of like move guys around, little shenanigans. Or
flight, okay, yeah.
Or you can give them the unit concealment, which makes them defense 14 against the majority of shooting. And so all of a sudden you're like, okay, now they're respectable, good, but most importantly, granted. So if he dies, it goes away. But granted, he gives them blood boon. So anytime with their guns, if they shoot something and kill something, they add a destroyed member of the unit back to play. So it's like, oh, I killed half the Hollow Men. And then if every Hollow Man kills something, then they're back up to full strength. And if you have the sisters behind them, boop, 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 there's a few extra right there. And if you have the old witch with her spell, or is it a spell, or is it no? It's her arcane machinery. So it's not even.
So she's just activating it.
It's just instead of having she has one of 3 options. So she can just bring D3 grunts to play. So between 1 and 3, it could be the Hollow Man, whatever. And you're just masked. So they die. They give corpses to your battle engine. Your battle engine gives corpses to your heavy war beasts. Now they're cool and they're doing stuff. And then at the beginning of each turn, you just remake all the Hollow Men for them to die again and give more corpses to you. And it's kind of like this cool little factory. That's how I imagine it. That's the list I built.
Well, you're running if you do that with Old Witch, then she has to go first, though, because it is once per turn that you can take advantage of the term hellhole. Because, get it? They're coming back out of Arcane. It's really clever. Anyway, it's way better for Warmachine because you get to give a unit future sight. Models in control range, in her control range, get future sight. Okay, models in control range, models in its battle group, while in this models. Wow, how did I butcher that so bad? While in this model's control range, models in its battle group gain future sight, which I think is really amazing.
That's why you just play Haley 2, and then they just always have that.
Whatever. You and your Signar.
Just saying. Old Witch's feat is kind of meh. Because like she has so she has like 3 choices. She can either reduce all of her costs of her spell by 1, or she can either give future sight or return D3 people, depending if it's Grymkin or Kedor, or it's range amplifier, which Kane has in Signar, which is all your spells gain +5 range. So you kind of you don't have to be close or something, and you just really take advantage and cool stuff. So her feat is just she gets all of those 3 at the same time.
So far.
And then all her magic attacks are boosted. So I guess if you're like casting Scourge, which usually costs 4, it costs 3 now, and it gets +5 range, and it's boosted attack. I mean, that's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to knock something down.
It's not
terrible. Really good.
It's not as terrifying as the Old Witch 1's feat, just because you would play all game kind of holding that trump card, as it were, and everybody would be really scared until you did that move. Whereas this, I think she's probably just a little more solid throughout the game without needing to be terrified of just the feat. Hey, there are trump cards in this game, though, aren't there? Let me see here. Yeah, on the Arcana cards, you have, trump cards, which are the ones that have to go to a specific warlock. They're still calling them warlocks, right? Not crazy here?
Yeah, they're warlocks, yeah.
Okay. And so what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cards to choose from. And then there are some generic ones. There's only, 4, as far as I can tell, generic ones that don't have an attachment to somebody. Oh no. Never mind. A lot of them are attached to someone. Okay, so I will address this. As far as the look of these models, and I'm gonna throw it out there. I understand that from the earlier books, like Grymkin was totally mentioned somewhere in like the Iron Kingdoms universe. But wow, so many people, and I don't blame them, really thought that these models looked like straight out of Malifaux. And then the card system also kind of feels a little bit like that. So you're like, huh, what are you doing? So it's not a bad, I don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't particularly have an investment one way or the other. But I did think it was interesting that so many of the specific models, like the little girl looking like Candy, or was it the Dreamer looking like Pandora, and you're like, huh. I don't know if that's like a market grab type of thing, or if it's like, because in my experience, more girls play Malifaux than any other wargame. And so I don't know if it's like an attempt to get more like both genders into the game. There's just sort of like random thoughts on that. They don't really go anywhere as far as that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Dan?
As soon as I saw Grymkin, I thought, hey, they brought Malifaux into Warmachine.
It does feel a little bit out of place.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because it's like, okay, this is what we have. It's like, how can you really expand all the factions, and then like, what do you bring in that's new, right? That's exciting. And they kind of, explain it. It's like alternate dimension that they're brought in from or whatever.
Well, yeah, they're brought in from the underworld, and they've always been there. And I guess there were people they were creatures that said no to Menoth, because of course Menoth's a big jerk face, and nobody likes them.
Nobody.
Except for those crazy sand.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But so it's just at first I was kind of a little upset by that. I was like, what are these guys doing in here? But at the same time I was like, you know what? If they are cool and on the other side of the board, I really don't mind. No, people are having fun with it.
I mean, right? Like, I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing, because, I mean, the models are still cool looking. It's just, I mean, I know a lot of people reacted strongly to it just because it did feel so specifically like another style. And it does.
People were really excited for it, too.
Yeah. Well, right, a lot of speculation. Gosh, how long have people been waiting for a new Hordes faction, right?
Mm-hmm. I think with these kind of things, I just treat it like Christmas, which I don't look forward to, because then it's just too much anticipation. So I wake up and I'm like, hey, it's Christmas.
Like, oh, here I am. Oh, look at these models.
When I was a kid, I got a free trip to my living room because my brothers and sisters would bring me out of bed and drag me across the floor because mother said you can't open all the presents till everyone's here. And so I would be like, the presents are there, they're not going anywhere. I don't know. That's my philosophy when new things are coming out. It's just they're going to come out. So me being excited or not, it's not going to change anything. So the less I think about it, the faster it'll come. You just forget about it. Boom, it's there.
But how does that work in a community integrated development?
Well, now it's here, right? The rules are here. And so now I have it. Now I get to play with it and have fun with it. And so the models aren't here. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, forget it, whatever. Models. I guess it does. Oh, I'm probably going to end up buying some of these models.
Well, I know one model I'm going to buy. And then as far as everything else, I'm like,
well,
I just don't care about the
model as well, so obviously.
Now, is the Old Witch the first Warcaster to be a Warlock and a Warcaster?
Yes.
Okay. So
there's lots. Well, there's Constance is Mercs and Signar. Kane is now also Mercs and Signar.
All right.
Is there anything else that crosses over?
Well, but they only cross over within Warmachine. It's not like.
But I'm just trying to think of what has crossed over so far.
Oh, I see. Sturgis, obviously, Crix, and.
Yeah, but it's like a different Warcaster. It's like the same character, I suppose, but it's like different rules.
Yeah.
Although they're similar rules.
Whatever.
But no, Old Witch is definitely the first one to do that. I thought that maybe they were going to remove her feet, or and then have her choose the different things too, which would have been neat. But no, they just kept her feet. She is the only Grymkin with feet.
Right. Which I don't know how they'd... I mean, if they were going to make her still work for Khador, I don't know how you would work without her having a feat. I think they just were trying to go with the option that would be less confusing or complicated.
Yeah. Well, it would make her more different because right now, wait, what is? Let's look at the actual differences between Old Witch 2 and 3. 2 being Khador and 3 being Grymkin.
That's super confusing.
Because
3. No, so
it looks essentially the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we talked about before, because you have your 3 arcane machinery, cool things that you can do. You only choose 1 each turn, like super feet when you get all 3. 1 is Hellhole when you're, the recursion for your grunts, or the other one is Future Sight for your battle group.
Right.
So that difference, but Black Wings, their gun is the same. And then Boundless Charge, Curse of Shadows. Reconstruct is Respawn, which is the same thing for War Beast, and then Scourge. Right. So really, there's no difference.
They just make it work for living models versus constructs, basically. I mean, Hellhole is probably the most different from.
Yeah, that's really the only difference. The only difference is one of your 3 abilities that you could use every turn is either in Warmachine, you buff your battle group to have Future Sight, or in Grymkin, you bring back dead warrior grunts.
Okay. Now, how many warlocks, how many warlocks are in here? Oh dear.
Chris Porter says that I find it peculiar that people associate Grymkin's design with Malifaux, because the Grymkin existed in the fluff for Iron Kingdoms far before Warmachine was actually a game.
Yeah, but then you've got to be kind of practical and go, well, okay, that's great that it existed in text somewhere, but what game's been around almost as long as Privateer Press, guys? I mean, It's not an unreasonable assumption for people to make.
The models and the look and the feel that existed in Malifaux in a game on the table first. So they get the credit.
And it wasn't really fleshed out back then, so, I mean, again, it's fine, but I'm not gonna... It would be weird to assume that Malifaux had, no influence, because that seems really obvious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a silly little joke before. It's not even that funny. But Old Witch has a scrapjack foot in each faction.
Oh, gosh. That was terrible. Although I do like the fact that Scrapjack can stomp. He has stompy feet.
He's still awesome. Because the Old Witch is like, I'm not hitting anything anymore. I'm too lazy. But I think her gun is a little overpowered.
It doesn't do any damage. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's an AoE 4 line, and it doesn't even have to directly hit.
I mean, blind is shakeable. I don't know what you're going on about.
Shatter and still just blind everything. And sure, you can shake blind, right?
Yes, you can shake blind.
Blind can be shaken. But at the same time, if it's like units, you can't run, you can't charge, you can't make slam or trample attacks. You have to forfeit either your movement or combat action.
It's probably not worth it.
-4 defense, -4 mat. You're like, oh, I don't want to take free strikes. You're just like, let's lob an AoE in there. Okay.
You're reading too much into this. It's fine.
It just seems.
Mark 3 fixed all the power curves.
And it's range 10. And she's speed 6? Speed 5. She's a slow battle engine caster.
Well, she's Khador and Scrapjack gained a little weight.
Just a little.
Just a teensy bit, He apparently ate Behemoth.
But at the same time, as a warcaster, you have 2 Powerful Strength 15 weapons. So that's pretty good at melee.
No, I think so.
Only mat 5, but does she have dual attack?
Well, she can do all of her initial ranged and her initial melee attacks.
Yeah, that's dual attack, and she does have it. So she can charge in, just lob her Black Wings point blank.
It's true.
And she doesn't care about Mat 5 because they have -4 defense.
I mean, again, it's not worth dwelling over, Dan.
So she's effectively Mat 9 when she wants to be. With 2 initial power strength 15 gun weapons. Yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty good.
I don't know, Chris. I think you might be reaching a bit. I mean, you're selling models. What are people going to see? Now, again, I have no investment in this, so the child is fine, like, as a Grymkin Warlock, but he was saying that, you know, the themes are totally different. It's like, I guess. I mean...
I can argue the themes are different, but the feel is very much similar.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the Gremlin Swarms are partisans. Or they're minions and they're Grymkin.
Oh, okay. So at least there will be some good crossover there, which also helps because people want to maybe play the Grymkins without having to buy all in.
I own 1 Grymkin model.
Woohoo!
I've never played. I just bought it and assembled it, and they look hilarious. And apparently they're pretty good too. Yeah. So, anyways, my list that I built is using the Old Witch because I think the Old Witch is really cool. But I also have the where is this? The Death Now. So there's 2 huge bases in the list. I don't know how things are going to fit, but so they're there. And so what I figure is I have 2 units of Hollow Men with the Lantern Man, and so that's like 20 guys that have POW 11 rifles with combined range attack. So it's got to be pretty good. And then the Death Knell's there, so inevitably they start dying from other shots.
Yeah.
And get back, but instead of having the Skin and Moans, I have the Cage Rager. So the Cage Rager is the other heavy war beast, which you really haven't talked about, which also really loves corpses. And has no way to get them without, murdering people, except for the Death Knell giving to him.
With 32 damage boxes, speed 4. Yeah, he's kind of beastly.
Yeah, he's only 14 points, so it's not too bad. And he's not a character or anything. You can bring lots of them. I just have one of them on the list. But one thing, he's only speed 4, but he's kind of like he's in the background helping things. Like one thing, he's got arcane suppression, so he's kind of like in the middle of your troops. And so, arcane vortex. He's also got arcane suppression, or his animus is that. So you cast it on yourself within 10 inches. It's like lamentation or whatever. Like it's like everything costs. Or no, wait, it's not double, but it increases by 1. And if you're upkeeping, or you cost an extra 1. So it's annoying. It just really throws off your math with your focus and fury, and just allows, like, oftentimes you go, okay, I have the perfect amount if I do this, and all of a sudden when you throw that in the mix, you're like, I can't do half what I want to do this turn. It's only within 10 inches, whatever, but, heavy war beast, it gets up in there. It costs 2, so it's kind of expensive, and it's only self, so you can put it on your Warcaster or the guy, but what I really want them for is the Arcane Vortex. And so you spend a corpse token, you negate any spell cast at a model within 3 inches of it. So he's kind of up near the front lines. You want to cast spells at me? Too bad.
Take that, Denegra. Take that, Haley.
I'm just going to ignore it all. And it's only like, within 3 inches of it. So it's like it's about 8-inch bubble around him. Or 8-inch, like including himself. Like it's decent. But then you also have Rattlebones, which is you can spend a corpse token and you can channel through them. So being able to channel Scourge, playing Cricks, it's really good. You just knock stuff down and then murder them. And then and if you're knocked down, that helps negate the only Rat 5 of the Hollow Men, that kind of stuff. And also with Grave Secrets, you can upkeep control. Like you can spend corpse tokens to upkeep spells on him. So you can only have 3 at a time. So like I just figure I'm just shunting 3 corpse tokens every turn from the battle engine, assuming my guys are dying. If they're not dying, then that's also okay. So that's what he does. But then in the end, he also has 2 Power Strength 17 magical weapons. And if he kills anyone himself, he also gets corpse tokens. So
corpses everywhere. There's even a move in here, bring out your dead. I think that's actually on the battle engine. I kept reading the battle engine rules for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, he's only speed 4, and he's only defense 10, but he's armor 19. So it takes a little bit to shoot him off the board. But he's kind of like the slow-moving, not really an initiating piece, but kind of like a support piece until kind of later game when he can punch pretty hard and get in there. And I think that's pretty cool.
You should change out your Frightmare for 8 Cask Imps. These guys seem super weird and just straight chaos because they're just these little 1-point infantry guys. Oh, you can't have more than 4. Sad day.
No. You can have more than 4.
What?
Because you can bring madcaps, which spawn them.
Oh, I see.
So
they have this rule called alcohol fueled. This model cannot forfeit its normal movement. When it makes its normal movement, before it moves, you must choose its spacing. Then it advances its speed plus d6 in a straight line, which totally sounds like a 40k charge, but whatever.
It sounds exactly like Wrecking Ball Night Goblins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If a 6 is rolled instead of moving, this model explodes. And we're talking like a power 14 fire damage explosion. Terrible. With continuous fire.
Oh, that was 12. How 12?
How 12? It says 14.
What am I thinking of here? Oh, no, I'm thinking of something different. Go on. Continue on.
That's right. I am right. Anyway. And then if it contacts another model while moving, it explodes. Like, I mean, what were they? What were they? The Mechana Thralls? What are they in Crix where you have them and they just explode if you hit them or if you miss them or if they hit you or they don't hit you? Or...
Yeah, those are the Scrap Thralls, I think.
Scrap Thralls. Yeah, it's like Scrap Thralls, but even more chaotic. And they hit so hard.
Yeah, I think, but if you kill them, they just die, right? They don't explode when you shoot them off?
They do explode, yes.
Wait, so if you just kill them, they also explode?
Oh, no, in here? No, it doesn't say anything about... You can probably snipe them out with the Cask Imps. That might change, but
yeah,
so far...
but they're only 1 point, right? So...
Yeah, exactly.
So the Madcaps are the Grymkin weapon crew. And the weapon crew, it's mobile artillery, everything, but it doesn't have a gun. All it does is pop out more Cask Imps. So as a start action, you just place a Cask Imp within 4 inches of a model that's in formation.
So is it for people who are just really interested in like just playing chaos? Like
maybe a little. Because you can shoot them off pretty easily. They're not that hard to kill.
but they might outnumber your shots.
But if they're only 1 point, they kind of get in the way. It takes a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or for the more melee-oriented stuff, it's just if you don't have that extra gun or whatever, it's in the way. And so you're throwing stuff around.
Yeah.
So what's cool about Madcaps is so every turn you can do that, and then the grunts. He comes with two grunts with it, and they have like what's called Fiery Spirit, which is like a Molotov cocktail. It's range 6, power 12, AoE 3. So it's just kind of like if you get close.
All right, so I'm already thinking here. We're taking Sorsha 2 with Shatterstorm, prevent your corpse tokens, and a bunch of assault commandos to survive fire. Right? Is that what we're doing? Counter.
Well, that doesn't really help against the Hollow Men. And the Shatterstorm can only remove
Hollow Men can be shot.
Huh?
Hollow Men can be shot easily enough.
Yeah, well, their defense 14 with they'll always have concealment.
Never mind. That's not that easy to shoot.
So you can definitely kill them, but I'm bringing back D3 plus 2 every turn for free, and then whatever they kill brings back more guys, unless you're removing them from play. Which Shatterstorm can only remove so many.
This is true. It's just, I mean, you either have to kill so many in a turn to make that attrition more worth it, or you're just trying to move or ignore as much of the army as possible to get to the Warlock, which is really hard to do in hordes.
Yeah. And I think with Old Witch, you need so the Crabbit is the lesser war beast. I think it's spelled with a K. Where is it?
Which one?
There's only one B. That's what it is. So let's see. There it is. There's a lesser war beast. You get 2 for 7 points. So very similar to a lot of the other like lesser war beast kind of stuff. They have bounding leap. So you can. It's only Fury 2. Pretty sure. Yeah. So you can spend 1 to leap around with them. Whatever. And you have dodge, which is self. So I mean, he gains the animus. So I guess your caster can cast dodge on himself, which is actually very useful. You know, if anything misses you, you're advanced up 2 inches. So if something's barely reaching you with a charge attack or something, and they happen to miss you, all of a sudden you're safe and not assassinated. So dodge is just really powerful. But most importantly, they have shield guard.
Now you're talking about the Crabbit?
The Crabbits, yeah.
The Crabbit.
So these little dudes, 7 points for 2 of them, and you get 2 shield guards. And so Old Witch doesn't have a lot of defensive tech, and you know, you can just murder her. But if you have a couple shield guards around, I mean, it just a lot of those, you know, debuffing guns or whatever, different things. You know, you can just absorb a couple shots every turn. They don't have a whole lot of hit, but they're armor 12 with 13 boxes, so they might get 1 shot. But I mean, that's less damage on when it's important. It's important, right? If you're getting shot by something like Iris or something.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Now, have we seen the model or the concept art for the Crabbit yet?
I don't think so.
Because I hope they make it look, and I was just double checking here, I hope they make it look just like the Crabbit from the Max. Because it's so weird. That would be appropriate.
I'm hoping something like the Search for the Holy Grail. This crazed rabbit that goes for your neck. I'd also be happy with that.
Nope, Crabbit from the Max is better.
But yeah, but
I think they deliberately left that one big so everyone could speculate.
But I mean, as like a fighting machine, I mean, it's sure it can leap, but I don't know what it would be leaping for. Like its leap is in there for like fluff. Like I don't see any purpose. So, like I'm behind you. I have a 1 POW plus strength 8 weapon. Ow. Like,
Well, no.
what is that gonna do?
It can leap behind people because you don't have to start your activation behind someone's front arc now.
Okay. So it goes mat 5. He goes to mat 7 with the backstrike bonus, and then POW plus strength 8.
There you go. Reasons.
So like even like a crappy solo with like armor 11, that's dice -3. You still need an 8, which is above average to kill it. And that's if it's a crappy armored solo.
Fair enough. What do you think of the Nayslayers?
Nayslayers, I mean, they're cav that's small based, which is interesting.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. There they are.
So, I mean, they're only speed 6, so they're not like, they don't really get to you faster like cav normally do.
Pretty decent armor for cavalry. Let me see.
They
have lands.
seem like they'll just die. Like, I don't...
So they're just more corpses to feed into the rest of the army?
They seem not that great. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Oh, I don't know. And then
Nayslayers.
Oh, no, there's so many.
They tried really hard
There's
with
special
these
roles in here.
I mean, they have the reposition 3. They have a lance, but you can only make a lance attack when you're charging. Otherwise, it's a range 0 weapon.
Range 0?
Yeah, and it's only POW plus strength 7, but it is armor piercing. So they have a POW strength 7, which is lackluster, but it's armor piercing, so it could be decent. And a charge attack.
It's no armor piercing 12. That's for sure.
No one has armor pierce 12.
Behemoth.
Except Behemoth. I knew Behemoth.
Except for the best warjug in the game. I mean, come on.
No way, Thunderhead.
Ugh, he's such a jerk.
I like Thunderhead because
I'll never forgive you for killing all my shock troopers.
That's right. Oh, Thunderhead is situationally just amazing. And when it happens, people are like, that's unfair, that's stupid. But, I mean, if you don't play into it, it's really nothing.
Well, we should probably start wrapping it up. I suppose we've been kind of waxing on about these new models for a bit, and it's all subject to change, of course. Are you planning to contribute to the community integrated development, Dan?
Well, I mean, I signed up for the forum, I got everything, so I should at least play a couple battle reports, or play a couple games and write up some battle reports and my thoughts. They seem interesting. What I'm kind of excited for is the weird, awful, stupid models of the pigs. See those guys?
No.
So they're in like the reveal video. It's like these little like guys hunched over with these
wait a minute, riding? Oh, I didn't like them.
They're like awful.
They were very they look like from Wrath of Kings, the what the heck are they called now? Have them. A whole bunch of them. The weird little like imp people. But yeah, that there was way too much detail put into the hind quarters of those pigs. It made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, that's for sure. But they have really solid rules. They have impervious flesh and shield wall. And so as they go up the board, you're just not really killing them. It's like really hard. They're piggybacks was what they're called. And they really tried too hard with the puns in naming these units. They're like, I can only imagine like Privateer Press is like, anything goes. And then like Grymkin came up and they're like, what have we done? Well, we spent this much time in development and money. Let's just throw it out there and see what the community thinks.
Pigs riding on people. Oh my goodness.
But then they called them piggybacks. They called them piggybacks, Miranda. It's like skinny bones. I
suppose we all put up with some things.
But anyways, there are only defense 11, only armor 13. But they have impervious flesh, so you're only rolling 1 dot less die damage on them. So they're effectively more like arm 16. Maybe more. And then when they go shield wall, they get +4 armor, then they're like, yeah. They're really hard. But then they have vengeance. They have tough. They have snacking. So if you're bringing these guys back, they can't activate for a turn. But if they can attack again, they only get brought back with 1 box, but if they snack on somebody, then they can heal. And they start getting, ramped up. And so potentially, and they're FA2, but it's only 5 models for 15 points, so they are a bit expensive.
That's it. They look like Technus. Okay.
Oh, they look like the jousters from Labyrinth? A little bit. I love that movie, by the way. Labyrinth.
Amazing. Good taste to you, Michael.
Yeah. But anyways, there's a lot of potential for the new faction, a lot of cool things. Time will tell if it's going to change or not, but I've seen a lot of different rules leaked all over. I mean, it's only a matter of time till it's going to be pretty accessible. I'm not going to be the one to do it, but keep your eye out. You'll probably be able to find something. Or you can just sign up for the playtesting forums, and you can playtest it and contribute towards the community.
That's right. Making your faction, this one faction, exactly what you want it to be. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a testing ground to really making all of the factions CID going forward.
Part of me is like, are you getting lazy? Because I have to say that a lot of the things coming out in Mark III, it seemed like they weren't up to snuff to what Privateer Press has put out before. Like, they're like, this is very tight rules, very awesome stuff. And then Mark III came out and they're like, oh, there's all these loopholes and stuff. And they like worked on fixing them. And so they're like, maybe we'll just let the community find all the loopholes for us instead of actually like...
They're very good at it. I don't think they realize what kind of audience they ended up getting for Warmachine. I mean, you have the most rule memorizing, semantic playing kind of player base just by virtue of the rule set you got. And so I think it was maybe a bit of a gift to them. And so, yeah, I don't know. it'll be interesting to see it going forward. I hope to see maybe even a mini faction going forward, because I've been wanting to like get into hordes, but I just don't really care about any of the factions. And I don't really care about this one either. I'd really like something that could be like constituted as a good guy again at some point. Everything's been so dark and grim and evil. It's like,
what are you talking about? Minions are just fun-loving guys. We got some death magic.
I'll never forgive you for setting my old witch on fire either.
Well, it's gonna be a whole lot more harder for fire to kill your big scrapjack with old witch on it now.
That's true. Armor 19, I've learned I can spend whole games on fire.
Yeah, so, and with a whole lot more boxes. So I think you're pretty good. And I can no longer charge my own model to line up the perfect flame shot anyway, so.
That's true.
That scenario really doesn't exist anymore. But you should just forgive me. We can move on.
Right then. Well, guys, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us for our chat. I hope you got some good information. Make sure to check out the private tier press forums if you do want to contribute to the community integrated development thing, just so that you can see the beta rule set and what the Arcana cards and stuff look like. It is really interesting information. And then definitely comment below. We'll try to get to your questions as you put them in, because I don't know that I got to everything in the live stream. So do you have any final thoughts, Dan? Take us out.
I hope that at the end of this, when we got all the rules, that all the models will actually be released, because there's still many models that rules have been released, but no models have yet to make an appearance. So, one would hope that private tier presses learn from this experience, and if they're let's get these models out so we can play with them and experience them. But it's a new take on a faction. I may not agree with everything, but it's new, and I like new. I like changes. I like throwing a wrench into things. So we'll see how it is. I will be definitely playtesting them, and I'm gonna have fun with it.
Awesome. All right. Well, good night, guys.
Buenas noches.